Hello, hello. Welcome to the sound of silence. This my computer opens the game. Hurry up, computer. So pretty. So majestic. Ooh. Okay. Hello. Do. Okay. Continue. We will continue. We will talk with the ultra liberal. We'll have a good conversation. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Look at my shirt. Look, I got a bag and my clipboard. I am prepared to be a police officer.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good morning, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds her hand over the railing. Joyce L. What does the L stand for?
Dayton, my maiden name.
Shake her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
Let's see what we can learn about her hand.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
Does that make sense? She sails this boat by herself. That's pretty physical. She's a tough old bird.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
All right.
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
Winky winky.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
Maybe he thinks it's an act I put on to disturb people so that they'll say more stuff to me. You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sail flutters overhead. Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
We're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
I thought we were in Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Snap, snap.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle.
Is he like a CHIPS officer? He's highway patrol.
It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
Well, there, Kim, that was sassy. Let's see. Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cor de Leyte 19, because that's the type of sloop it is.
Okay, but what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft. A 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
Let's see. You have a license for this boat.
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
Can I see your license?
I just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but two Insulindic regattas. Even finished once.
Really? What happened the other time?
The other time, I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter, much like the one I'm on now.
Still. I need to see a license. That's good enough for me.
Why wouldn't it be? This is Revachol, Wayfair Act and all. Anyone can drive a boat.
Let's see. I think I have a handle on the boat thing.
Good.
Takes a sip of her thermal cup. Let's see. Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
Okay, so what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
And how much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
Revenue. Oh no, where's my phone? I don't know what revenue is, but it's not.
A billion?
What exactly is a billion?
It's a number, officer. A big one.
What is it made of?
It's made of 1,000 millions. A million is made of 1,000 thousands.
Wow.
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments.
A wave hits the sloop and she grasps the mainstay for balance.
A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families?
I think
It's a tremendous responsibility.
most businesses budget 30% for workers. Roughly. Sometimes 10. I've worked for places that do 10 and they're always cutting our hours. Douchebags. Douchebags. So what's a third of 20? 9 billion. No, it'd be less than that. No, I guess it would. 9 times 3 is 27. So no. 8. 7. 6? 6 to 7 billion for the people that work there, and probably another 6 to 7 for your overhead expenses and stuff. And the rest is like profit, dude. They're taking home 6 billion in profit. Somebody's loaded in the Insulindian, whatever the frick we are. Where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when Pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lormentang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
What does such a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
8% of all cargo in the world? That's quite the endeavor indeed. You don't keep it moving, though. The workers do. The company's nothing without them.
We built this district. All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. The plazas Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP.
It points behind you to the seawall.
Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees. A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
Very much, and maybe it's a product of the time in which I live right now, but It smacks of like company towns, doesn't it? Like, you can live here and vacation here so that all your money goes directly back to the company because they own all the places where you live and work and play. So that's fun. Yeah. Anyway.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
What can you tell me about the strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Well, wait, what if I want to hear trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade and Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus? I will slay it.
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
Okay, what is your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Man of virtue. So the strike is connected to the lynching.
Yes, I believe there is a connection. But that's a subject for later.
How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to, how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Well, that's rude. Okay then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
And what happened? Let's see. What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Over-aggressive, call me posturing. I like it.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker, a member of the board.
What exactly do they mean by it, though? What's the demand?
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision, about what? About anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
It's pretty funny, I have to admit. Let's see, the workers can't be kings. The king is king. The king is dead. Long live the workers. Let's see. I haven't decided how I'm gonna politically lean this, but I think I'm gonna avoid that with her. What are we gonna do? What are
I'm
you
not
gonna do?
sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. A hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the Bois at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
Okay. The scabs at the gate, did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to?
Don't let her answer it herself.
No, I mean scabs.
If these workers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Really? Really? What do you think of Everett?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick him with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
Sounds like you're about to take a rapier to him.
Oh, heavens no. We get along just fine. Yet, now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his double chin.
That's Everett, all right.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Remember hearing something about this Edgar.
Have you seen him?
No.
Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself outside the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, we are forced to cooperate with them.
Really, Kim?
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
I wonder if you could really stage a coup at your place of business and just take it over. Tie up the manager, throw him in the dumpster. Our business now. Just take all the profits for yourself. It's ours. Effective advocate for the rights of local working, and a giant leech sucking the life out of Revachol, and basically a socialist mob. I prefer not have opinions on these things. Yeah. I don't know if he's an effective advocate for the rights of local working men. He's basically a socialist mob.
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
Really? One more thing, you said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
This is an interesting case I've never gotten an answer to.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
This forewoman, her name?
And this forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the Union's files.
Eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild
Yes.
Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
That's all I need here. Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
By the way, I have talked to Everett Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Finally. Time to choose sides.
Pick side. He's a beautiful man, beautiful and just. Everett Clare is a hero of the workers' movement. He's a champion I've sworn fealty to. He's a bloated rainbow socialist. I can do business with him. For a socialist, he's reasonable. Not the champion I have chosen. I wish to swear fealty to you in the cause of capital. Not important if I liked him. I was doing my job. Did I like him? I didn't like him.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually...
I was reading or watching an interesting video essay on this game, and somebody mentioned that, like, Everett is vile, intentionally vile, but Joyce is just as bad, but she's more personable. And he was talking about how that's like a liberal thing. I don't know, it was interesting, but like it's a cover, basically. She's very personable, but she's still gonna get what she wants out of you. And it's not a good thing.
Corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, Verm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt Verm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Really?
Tell her she'll like you for it.
I'd rather talk about something else for now, if you don't mind.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
What can you tell me about this lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois. I'm afraid Harry doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
Oh, and what happened to yours, Detective?
Remember when my partner told you I'd... Ooh, hi. Cat. When I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode. My lost badge is related to it.
I see.
Doesn't.
So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yes.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
It's possible after a night of heavy drinking I lost all memory of my life and the world.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Kind of arrangement with that?
I mean, favors for favors. A dirty alliance of some sort.
How do I negotiate my way out of this? Let's go.
Easy.
Ooh.
Just offer her a favor. Like I said, nice and dirty.
Surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Like what?
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
They're profiting from this trade.
Let's see.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail, Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Excuse us for a minute, madam. Let's step over here, Kim, where she cannot hear us over the sound of the waves.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would.
How did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Oh, so we're henchmen now.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
Do you propose that we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
We could just, find my badge.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large, and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
Well, let's get back to her then.
You're back. Good. What can
Okay.
I help you with?
Tell me about this alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite
What's
straightforward.
wrong, kidders?
Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Savoir and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Okay. 1 second. I gotta go check my cat. Damn cat. I'm back. I'm better than ever. The cat, however, is just a weirdo. I don't know what to do about that.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Let me get this straight. The materials come from Savoir to Revachol through the terminal.
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter. North...
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
I wonder if they were smuggling drugs themselves and the Union saw it and, took it over. Because that seems awful big for Union workers. How would they make those connections without somebody on the other side? I don't know. Let's see. What do you mean?
The lorries. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they are vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Why didn't you come to RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
Let's see, it's no coincidence the lorries are stranded there like that, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
A cold breath rushes in from the bay, making its way down the alleyways and potholed streets. From Martinez to Jamrock, in the traffic you hear the clinking of glass vials, concealed beneath tarpaulin. Or is it just your teeth chattering in the cold?
Fucking misery.
A lot of it. It comes in from large Samaran factories in South Safre, Sigai, and Sinyao. The literage they must get from this terminal alone must be oceanic.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
It's interesting. Martinez doesn't seem to have a ton of drugs, mostly just booze. They're too poor to benefit from from all the increased drug trade. It's probably in the east where the rich people live, where it's such a curse or whatever. It's fine if poor people waste their life on drugs. Proof do you have that the union is involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves. Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
Sorry. What is it doing, Grant? So they think the strike is being paid for with drug money. Got it. Okay. We already have some suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching.
The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
Okay, I made up my mind about the smuggling investigation.
Yes?
We'll take this case and probe the drivers. See what it yields.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Do you know something about these tattoos?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So you know something about the tattoos?
Better not tie the 4th day to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality?
It's related to that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic of terms.
Ah, yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
Like swelling in the brain or something? Puts her thermal cup and down her thermal cup and looks at you.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Okay, where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
What is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Okay, you mentioned... Tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. As I told you, Martinez used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the reeds are the real star of the show here. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
She's got like a Dirty Dancing teenage forbidden romance in her past. Her and her friends sailed their little boats out here and met up with the local boys and did some dancing. Some disco dancing. You mentioned a sea. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
What's the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed over pebble amidst a great blue sea. Misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch. The Martinez distributary.
Okay. Oh. So Caillou, as you probably know, is the name of a children's show. And so I was like, it's got to mean something else for them to use it as the name of an island. It means pebble, which means that little bald kid is named Pebble because his head's a frickin' round rock, which is hilarious.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
Okay, that's Martinez. What's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
And what kind of a city is Revachol?
The great kind.
What makes Revachol great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay, who built the city then?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Semenine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
When was Revachol built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
It's not that old. It's like old as New York. And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
And why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're in an unimportant part of an important place.
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about...
It points across the water where the skyscrapers rise.
A collection of tall ghosts behind the water vapor, light reflecting off their glass windows.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the Bank of the World building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Where are we?
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
But you watch us too closely as you scan the horizon.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask. about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Madame Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
Or wouldn't I be lazy if I don't do it all now?
Oh, of course not. You are already diligent for getting this far, and diligent boys remember where they left off.
Indeed.
Oh, do we?
I'm always at your service.
Esprit Corp. Wait. What is interesting? Very low. So many things. What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind.
You've got a predatory streak.
All men are predators, dear. Nothing much to be done about that. It's all a matter of where you get to file your teeth.
And what's the big time?
The revolution.
Ha, and what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
And who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Sounds like they should have shot more people in the head then. Truly a kerfluffle.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
Yes. The Insulindian deluge, they call it.
I had a deluge too in my head.
Yes. An acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism. Exacerbated means made worse.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
I love that fucking king. Fucking communists. Smart king? He's a cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing. So he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay. And by liberals, you mean?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
And how did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
And who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Moralist.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol, and also the world. These guys are strong.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am. Well, just technically, practically as well. I like what I've heard about these people. Always pick the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes, I am. And also not. I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
Rudy tooty, pointy shooty.
That's the way of history.
Jesus. When was this kerfluffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
So a prion disease is something that eats your brain, like syphilis does, I believe. I looked this up last time. What did the Tazarath do? Well, let's find out.
It made people overthrow their governments.
Wow, really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
And what is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia. The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
And what happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
It's been this for how long exactly?
43 years. Hard to fathom, I know.
What have we been doing all this time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
And that's when they discovered disco?
Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are.
What is quantitative easing? Is that like a economics? Is this like trickle-down economics? Quantitative easing involves us buying bonds to push up their prices and bring down long-term interest rates. In turn, that increases how much people spend overall, which puts upward pressure on the prices of goods and services. What? I don't get it. I don't get it. Sounds sus. Most economic things sound like bullshit. I'm pretty sure they're bullshit. Just ways to suck the money out of your pocket and into a rich person's pocket. It's all bullshit.
Welcome to reality, baby.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
I asked you, who are you in all this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Here's some wisdom, lady. Say the death
Say
thing.
the death thing. I would have killed more. 40 million if that's what it took. A medical solution. I would have made off with the mineral rights. I probably would have killed more. 400 million if that's what it took. To do what, though? I would have... Nah. But for whose side?
The cold runs down your spine as you say the words, like a small electric charge that seeks grounding.
I see. A tenth of humanity. The key of history is in the lock. Keep turning at any cost.
At any cost, until humanity is free and the age of capital is past. Till his ascendancy is crushed and Revachol reigns as suzerain forever. Till it's all mine, every pigment-drenched black leaf of money in Revachol. Till the middle class, the gentry, and the workers are all gone and the age of man is over. Till humanity's free and the age of capital is past.
The wind stops, and for a moment, there's silence. The cold dissipates into your parietal lobe, like a dissolved bullet. All is quiet on the Martinez Inlet. A dog barks. A gunshot echoes off the walls of some distant building. A woman's voice.
Capital is past.
Past? That's what de Briever, the leader of the Communards, said, before she got a bullet in her head. Don't get me wrong. Capital is finished. But understand this. Its end won't free anyone. It will only lead to more suffering.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
Thanks, Kim.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
The abattoir, which is like a slaughterhouse. He lives in the slaughterhouse. He's got no fucking opinions on politics.
Understandable.
That's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
I want to know what you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
Dun dun dun.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine. It's sharp.
What's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
Dios mío, a liberal!
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a man of the left, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, are you repulsed?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
You're a monster.
That's a pity. I hope we can remain collegial despite the fact that I'm a high priestess of the capital. Don't take it personally. It was only business, as they say. Honestly. I may have even preferred it, had the Communards won. Who knows? They might really have built something better. But they didn't. Because they lost.
They suck.
When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinaise a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean, lights go up and motor carriages circulate the tracks.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinaise, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
And you're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
So... trying to think. She sided... The Liberals sided with the Communards against the king. But they didn't want the same thing, so when the coalition came in, they abandoned the revolution and went with the coalition. And she's saying, I wouldn't have done that. I would have fought to the end to make us a democracy, basically a capitalist democracy. Instead of whatever they are now. They're like in a weird no man's land. They don't have any voting rights or representation. Probably all have to pay taxes, follow all the laws without any of the freaking benefits of being a citizen.
Seditious talk, ma'am.
You have daughters.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
What is acute encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
And what causes encephalopathy?
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
Lack of B vitamins. Oh, it's probably from the surgery then. Can't you tell all the weight I've lost in my bariatric surgery? It's definitely the drinking.
She nods slowly. What this boils down to is, this reality thing is stupid. Blow this joint, grab a bottle, and drain that shit right down your throat. Wait. This reality thing is the only game in town. It's probably in your interest not to blow it.
I have somewhere to party right now. Just go away. Wipe that urge from your mind. We've got to get back to reality. Oop, there goes gravity.
She stares at you, head tilted to the side, with a slightly concerned look on her face.
Okay. What is...
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinaise?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
The Revachol Citizens Militia.
Preciso mundo. Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Okay.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Are we?
We are.
You said de facto?
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All 3 are good to know when we are out policing.
So I'm basically a lackey of capital. I'm basically a thrall to foreign interests, so I'm basically one of the good guys. I'm basically going to avoid the subject and ask the next question. I'm basically a thrall to foreign interests.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent, provisional rulers like it.
Oh, she leans in.
Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Why is that?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed, a true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement.
No, they really like us. They have to. Without us, no one controls the rabble.
Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
Okay. And what is this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Am I really that awkward?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or 2.
What is Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
Okay.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
And who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Wonderful.
That one of your daughters? What is that?
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow. Listen, she's saying we're mainstream and she's counterculture. Mainstream culture, counterculture. That makes sense. We know. Let's make it more complicated.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat, all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself, even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead.
Yeah, probably.
All right. What next?
Okay.
Nothing more nor less.
Yes, we are the Revachol.
Yes,
So,
that means not de
good for
jure.
the who I am part
The-
then.
Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is, and if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the
Yeah.
basic terms of reality, well, I am here to help.
Let's prepare to embarrass ourselves. What is...
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. It's on the tip of your tongue, a doubt of sorts, already in your head. But it's not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later, once the jamais vu thought is complete.
Okay, that's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Thank you,
Of
that's all
course,
for now.
Detective. Take care.
Fascinating. All right. Let's check my thoughts. I have internalized this. What we got? Caustic Echo. Revachol Special Administrative... Right? No research bonus. Revachol Special Administrative Region, Le Caillou, the Insulindian Ocean Coalition Government, Insulindian Mission Command, name after name, and none of them is familiar. They seem real, but something is wrong. You feel like a kid looking at stickers on the fridge. True Vaunt, the Apricot Company, World Games 34. You can almost see your hand reaching out for them. Scratch the corner, see if they peel loose. This feels like the most important of all the thoughts, the one you truly must complete. Oh my god. I'm learning Caustic Echo. Anything else I want to learn about? I could be a communist. It looks like reaction. Let's see. People think communism was some crazy idea that had its come up. It's 40 years ago. A fever that shook the world. They were right. Until he woke up today. A spiritual corpse responsive only to the call of Commodore Red, prostitutes, and Krasmazov. For him, communism is still a thing. He will single-handedly raise the commune of O2 from the oceanic trench where it has been resting, covered in ghosts and seaweed. He is the big communism builder. Come witness his attempt to rebuild communism in the year 51. Okay. I think I'm going to level something up. Poor little rhetoric. Do I want to be more logical? I'm so stupid for my clothes. My clothes make me very silly. Do I want more shivers? Do I want more Savoir Faire? What? Oh yeah, my pants. Let's see. Motorix, which is 4, plus 4 is 8. 8, 9, 10, 11. My Savoir Faire should be so much higher. I gotta get rid of these pants. I do like reaction speed too. Perception has been composure has been super interesting though. Straighten your back, keep your poker face. It's helped me like read people's stuff. Faces. Alright, we got lots of how would you call it? Speaking of pants, do I have any pants? I do not have any pants. I have a very dramatic shirt. Yes. Endurance and interfacing. Okay. Let's wander about. Let's see. I'm getting here.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
Hold on, who am I speaking to?
Doesn't matter who I am. Now go on, get out of here.
From within comes the faint sound of a broom sweeping across the concrete floor.
This is the police. Open the door.
Ha! The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
Let's see. Please let me in. It's cold out here, but I'm not joking.
No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
She trails off, leaving the sentence unfinished.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east.
Okay, let's get out of here, Kim. This lady's crazy.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Cindy's artistic impulses are infectious. Why am I looking at this wall?
You have no clue. It's just a wall.
Yes.
So many walls all over Martinez. Weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling.
Yep. Mystery wall. What do we got here? Stuff. He yells at me if I come up to her, right? Oops.
Are you trying to sneak up on me?
Yes.
Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Maybe.
Apparently, she doesn't like people standing behind her back.
Pig's come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out.
If anything, you're afraid she'll take you out one day.
I'm sorry for sneaking up on you. Why would you even say that?
Then why are you sneaking up on me like that? It's not a good idea to scare me, pig. Not a good idea at all.
You have high enough empathy and talk to these kids. Their story is actually really freaking tragic. Like, they're total douchebags. But like the stuff that's happened to them, it's just like, wow, kinda sucks. Sucks to be you. Oh, have a nice hat. Another splattering of bullet holes on this wall. Chairs and tables eaten by rain and moths and something else. What was this?
The spread pattern of these bullet holes makes your chest ache. Your breath grows heavier. More old bullet holes. Half a century at least. From the revolution.
Examine them closer. Why would this make my chest ache?
You peer into the faded marks in the stone. They peer back like an endless row of tiny black holes. Sweat starts trickling down your brow. Your chest feels tight looking at them. It's closing in, caving in, ever tighter.
You okay there?
No, I'm not. Having a panic attack about bullet holes. I have a theory, but I won't discuss it till we get to the church. Right, breathe out sharply. Yeah, I'm fine. And I started feeling really bad for a second.
Might be the after effects of your past escapades. What are you looking at?
What's all these bullet holes? I've seen a lot of them around.
Remnants from the revolution. These are over half a century old.
So no crime has happened here?
Perhaps a crime of a sort ages ago. But no, these do not warrant an investigation.
Okay, but what can you tell me about the revolution?
Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Should we go?
Okay.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head.
Carefully knock.
You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment.
I guess no one is in?
The lieutenant looks uncomfortable because we're breaking into some dude's house.
You're pretty sure the owner of the apartment isn't here. It's safe-ish.
Press your ear against the door.
The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp.
Lieutenant, what is your opinion of this task that we are undertaking?
Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for, but every day tells you something new about yourself. Apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something I'm squeamish about.
So you don't mind if I unlock the door?
I mind that the local thug is using the RCM for his busy work. But if this gets us to the bottom of this hanging, then I'm willing to look over it. On the other hand, We could just leave and tell Evrart we opened the door. No one seems to be tailing us to see if we actually did it.
Lie to Everett? That's also an option.
Yes, presenting a fabrication is known to get results here and there. You took this task. You make the call.
The door is right here. You can just open it and be done with this.
I'm a snoopy bitch, so I'm gonna use the key.
You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. Good job. Let's go now. I'm sure there's nothing interesting in there. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft, a whistle.
Really? I listen to the voice of the city. I want to know why this guy is wanted by the union. A small suitcase full of clothes. Guests are staying over? A book titled The Hidden World of Walking Sticks lies open. You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on the flag.
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty.
And what's with the sun?
This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle.
And what's the sevenfold sun miracle?
It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag.
What are they called? Sun dogs? We don't get those on Earth very much, do we? I think that's something you see on like Jupiter or something with different types of atmospheres. So, Lieutenant, the old flag of the suzerain.
Mm-hmm. The tenant is an old-fashioned guy.
Don't bow down to the flag.
The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colorful fabric with a sun sewn onto it. Like all feudal flags, it looks like a children's drawing.
True fact. Okay. What else we got? What's the gun is ooh, a nice shirt. Whoever lives here admires fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles. It's like my shirt. I think just wearing the shirt makes
A row
me
of
fascist.
mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others.
Tap on the mugs.
A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. The lieutenant picks up one of the mugs, then puts it back down with a look of disdain.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
Whip out your yellow man mug and compare.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines.
There's the missing tin soldier. Whoever lives here might have used the Whirling's container to dump his trash. And now they've drawn the ire of the Union. The plot thickens, as they say.
Do you really think it's the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash?
Who knows? I'm not expecting too much from this clothes in the trash lead either way. It might turn out to be some random local matter, but still, a nice coincidence.
Move on from the mugs. The smell of disinfectant in the room smells like chemicals. Interesting. Why can't I sleep down here? I'm just moving in.
There must be another way into the building.
Whoa there, Kim. What have you done? That was crazy.
It's been a week and now they show up?
Balcony with a view to the yard and the hanging. The smoker up there could be a witness. Talk to him.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
Why are you whispering? It sounds like you're already in trouble. Let's see. No trouble for me. I just want to know what's going on here. Too late, young man. Trouble's found ya. Yeah. Now, why are you whispering? It sounds like you're already in trouble.
There's no trouble. I'm just speaking in a lowered voice. I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
It's the god of cigarettes and youth. Ask him if he's got anything to spare. Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
Hold on, can I at least have a cigarette?
Apologies, but this is my last one.
The god himself has denied you absolution.
Can you just, like, toss one down?
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
Okay, you're right. That was obviously a bad idea. Forget I said anything.
As you wish.
Actually, the gendarmerie really needs to talk to you.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
Can you tell me your name?
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
Martin Martinez? Good local name. Let's go with that.
Looks like you've got a good view of the Orleans backyard. Can you tell me anything about the hanging?
I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite a disturbing sight, even by Martinez standards.
What were you doing last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Did you?
No, not you two. Some more muscular type.
Oh, really?
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
He looks around the courtyard again. Old patio chairs and dead houseplants litter the scene.
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
Oh, what kind of friend?
It was my Sunday friend.
A Sunday friend. How intriguing.
What's your friend's real name? Did he see something?
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. In the neighboring windows, you can see faint reflections of his silhouette, all from different angles. Someone hides behind a curtain. Those windows have eyes, and those eyes are watching, spying on you three.
All right, we'll talk later.
No. We won't.
We will.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Oh, I upset him by bumming a cigarette. Oh, no.
Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and begging. Show him your emotional side. Throw yourself before his very feet like a dog.
Oh, my God. What do you want from me? Do you want me to cry? Huh?
No, for God's sake, I don't want you to cry.
Takes a quick step back and looks around, clearly disturbed.
Listen, I really have to go.
With a flick of his wrist, he sends the extinguished cigarette sailing over the rail.
Good luck with the investigation.
That's funny. Oh, thanks for the cigarette. The god has granted me a cigarette.
He's gone.
We should run after him, see where he went.
No point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself.
So we just give up?
He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. There has to be a way of getting inside the building. Let's go check out the door near the pier again. Once we found a way in, we can ask around for his apartment.
Great, let's do that. What time is it?
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it.
Turn it
There's
over.
a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity it doesn't have the apartment number on it. This building has hundreds of apartments.
How are we gonna find the right one?
We'll just have to go in and see.
Okay. Also, I'm gonna get that cigarette butt. Eviction notices and missing pets are plastered on top of each other. This box is filled with cleaning chemicals. Smells of laundry detergent. Let's see. I have a hat that increases my reaction speed. What is my rhetoric at? -1. Oh, alright. +2, 1 logic. Good with numbers. Physique and shivers. Sprawling saga. +1 logic. Balancing the books. I look like a filthy boho, probably a narcomaniac, eh? This one is visual calculus. Eye of the Reckoner. I need to be more logical right now. Reaction-y. Spirit of Corp. Musical instrument. Conceptualization. A real statement to wear. My logic is pretty bad. +2 + 2 - 2. At least that keeps me from being stupid. This takes me down only 1. I know I gotta run around without pants on. Let's see. +1 - 1, so. Visual calculus. What am I wearing that has visual calculus besides? Logic, Esprit de Corps, reaction speed, logic. Inland Empire. Half-light, composure. So funny. Anyway. Let's see. Old shoes, boots, sneakers, and old slippers. Apartment 12, a loud rumbling snore comes from within. Its snoring is scary somehow. You should leave. Oh, people hiding drugs in the toilet. Moss crawls on the bathroom tiles. Actual moss. These shower curtains are covered in some kind of slime. Ew. Poor old lady can't clean out here. So these, it's like a tenement house. Like, they have rooms and they share, like, communal bathroom on the same floor. I used to live in, like, that, basically a dorm when I was in college. Someone has drawn a 5-pointed star on the wall. And I got a penny from a pair of shoes.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, number 11.
Knock.
No reply.
Examine the padlock.
It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise.
Okay. When the voices in my head tell me to break into an apartment, what you gotta do?
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, the shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud. It should be possible to enter now.
After you, detective.
I like how Kim's like, go for it. Breaking in to the place. A flamboyant poster of a white star, real lithography.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads, Kraz Marzov. Honestly, he does kind of look like you after all.
What does this tenant have a bust of Krasmazov in their bedroom?
The white star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard.
How fitting.
How fitting.
Kim, you have to admit this Krasmazov bears a striking resemblance to me.
Hold on a second. Is this why you broke in here? To find out whether you're Krasmazov?
No, it's purely coincidental.
Sure it is.
Just humor me for a moment. Don't you see the resemblance?
Well, you both do seem to share an affinity for sideburns. But it seems like old Kras here didn't drink nearly as much as you.
How do you know? The bus is probably just a romanticized depiction anyway.
Very well. Let's look for identifying features then. Doesn't he have a birthmark right here? What about you?
I can't tell. I can't see my face.
All right. But here's the big thing. Krasmazov looks Samaran, and you don't.
You're right. That's something we definitely don't have in common.
Good, so you're not him.
I might not look like him, but I know in my heart, Krasmazov, that's me.
Okay, you win. Be Krasmazov then. I don't care. Why are you so hell-bent on proving that you're Krasmazov anyway?
I believe a powerful nation state is the only way to protect the working class from subhumans. Because actually, he wanted stability and incremental progress, and so do I. Because he was totally a gangster and a bank robber who went for all the cash in the world. That's me. I'm not sure. It's just a feeling I have, but I trust my feelings.
All right, Kras, if you say so.
What just happened? Father Mazov, the hero of the working class.
Whoever lives here definitely shares your enthusiasm. There aren't many communists around. Not after the revolution. Some youth still keep the ideology going, it seems.
Okay. Photos of revolutionaries posing with guns. Books of critical theory on the monstrosities of capital. Bullet. Some Commodore Red. What is this shirt? What is this smoking jacket? +1 conceptualization. Ooh. Just dressed all in white. Be very high concept. Okay. What did I get? Suicide of Krasmazov. There's something you can't get out of your head. Krasmazov, the father of scientific communism, the premier of the Communist Party of Shestingrad during the anti-centennial revolution, head of the 11-day government, sideburn-toting, bearded figurehead of the movement, shot himself in the mouth and died one day in his cabinet as things were collapsing around him. Just gave up? That's not good propaganda, is it? Be a communist, shoot yourself in the mouth. Something about this irks you. I've never had this one before. Confirm. Better than an advanced race theory. Let's see, what is it doing to me? -1 rhetoric, bad PR. 4 hours. Okay. What the thoughts I have here? +1 pain threaded blood oxygen is boring. All psychic caps learned by 1. I think it stays that way even if you get rid of it. We'll see. They say the world isn't ready for rock and roll cop. Because I'm awesome. Everything been raised to 6. Because I'm a superstar. Except for logic. Nice. Okay. So I can see everything. I can influence people's minds. I'm filled with drugs. And I have composure. Very cool. And I'm still waiting on all these. Okay.
That isn't just a 5-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words.
Let's look at it a little closer.
The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mazov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
Why is the star upside down?
To symbolize the toppling of the old order. All Also, some social democrats were already using it.
What's the deal with the antlers?
The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it.
Why white?
Because white is the color of peace.
What does this invoke in me?
Gone. Gone is the glory of hope. Only the scribblings of impoverished students remain in dirty hallways.
Fascinating. $5. I guess. Somebody's mail. Door number 9 is locked. Apartment 8, their mailbox is overflowing. Who lives there?
Give me a moment.
Give you a moment, old lady. She's leaning on her broom, her knuckles white as bone. She seems to be having difficulty breathing. Uh-oh.
The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
Are you alright? Should I call a doctor?
I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me.
She starts coughing, red spots appearing on her cheeks.
Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
Who are you?
I'm no one. Just an old woman who cleans these hallways.
Do you live here?
If you can call it living. I have a little room upstairs right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company. And that's all I need from this world.
And all she gets, too. The coastal wind beats down hard on the coal room door outside. Splashes of waves make the balcony slippery.
I'm looking for a Martin Martinez.
Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry.
What do you mean? I wasn't joking.
Pea-brain. Someone played a trick on you. Martin Martinez is a name for anyone who comes from Martinez, like Jim Jamrock or Raoul Revachol.
Oops, you really didn't get the joke there.
I thought it was obvious. Anyway, officer, we don't have the witness's name.
How about a young male in his mid-20s, dark hair, skinny build, a smoker on the balcony? Know where he lives?
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
No trouble. I just want to talk to him. Do you know where he lives?
Talk?
Oh, dear.
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
I have a few questions about these apartments.
Ask away, policeman.
Is one of the residents on a vacation? Their mailbox is overflowing.
People come and go. I don't keep an eye on everyone.
Who lives behind the padlock door?
Oh, that one is a scientist, a future scholar. I think he studies astrology at the community college. Education's good. I always tell them to study.
Astrology?
Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall.
You mean the star and antlers? I think that's the symbol of communism.
The symbol of what now?
You know, like the World Revolution.
Never heard of it.
Probably alive during it. Okay. Who lives behind the... Okay, what can you tell me about Cindy?
The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. Still, she leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others.
Well, that's
She
all,
mumbles
thanks.
some kind of a response, then hacks something into her handkerchief.
Okay, thanks. I'm off. Bye-bye. The graffito says, a firing squad for the rich. Okay. A note reads, foreclosed by Martinez Realty Associates.
A shift in temperature. The air chills around you. Dust settles on the stony floor.
Rub your sides for warmth.
A former architect stands before a slice of window, a room plan in her hand. A cold wave has made the air in the building stand still and frozen, with temperatures falling down to -20 degrees Celsius.
Her face
is red from the cold. She's breathing on her fingers, clasping the plan. Traces of sadness are visible in her expression.
plan.
Faint pencil lines on paper depict the same place, but a missing eastern wall connects the room with the neighboring apartment. Ideas for arranging the furniture have been jotted down.
Look around yourself.
It's clean and empty, with new tapestry embellishing the walls. A standard HB graphite pencil has fallen off a three-legged stool in the middle of the room.
Shiver. The sea below looks cold and wintry gray. There's a giant hole in this wall. Someone has torn down the wall. Some aspiring... Probably not an aspiring architect at this point. An old grocery list on the table. Are these different apartments? They're all so small. I just have a bathtub in it. Or is this like a communal bathtub? Oh. I mean, what did somebody call these? This is something that happens in poorer areas, I think in the South. Here in the US. Philadelphia bathroom or something like that. Where your bathroom is in the kitchen. It's because that's where the plumbing is, and it was just like a hasty thing to put up when you were retrofitting it for electricity or plumbing or whatever. Oh yeah. Ma'am.
Give me a moment.
Okay.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10. The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. A poor communard from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Let's see. This is the police. Open up.
Do I have to open the door?
Hear the clanking of heels again as the other side walks up to the door. Her tone is now getting a defensive
Do you
edge.
have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment.
A poor communard from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Do I have to open? Do you have a
Let's go.
Okay. Let's go upstairs. Hello? Or did that go outside? Oh, that went outside. Kinda cool. I'm just like, yes. Okay. Just posing. Hey, Cindy.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves.
That's right.
But here you are.
We've evolved.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
That heavy fuel oil.
Red-dyed heavy fuel oil, intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
Fumes are bad for you, kid.
Something to think about next time you're driving around in your pretty little piggy carriage.
Okay, catch you later, Cindy. 100 tiny feet scurry beneath the grate, the rats of the city. Oh, finally. Out of pants. Do I need... No, I guess I didn't. Let's look at my new pants. Ooh. And have a god's ass. Okay, well then I definitely need this shirt. Might take this necktie off. It's not doing me any favors. Oh, that's sexy right there. Does my hat give me reaction speed? Hat giving me? What's my hat giving? Reaction speed, feeling twitchy. Rhetoric. Bum brain. Let's see. Still like this coat better. Look at us. We're so sexy. This crumpled up postcard depicts an open air market in Bougie Street about 5 years ago. A vendor smiles at dead roosters lying in a stall, hung by their feet from canopy. Red blood flows into the muddy streets. Blurry shadows of people pass. Lovely.
The pockets of these new jeans are perfect for sticking your hand into. Makes you look cool, calm, and collected. As your hand enters the pocket, your fingers brush against something. Soft, yet crinkly.
Take it out.
Hey, it's a chewing gum wrapper. It reminds you of the fruity juice of apricots. You should inspect it closer if you have time. Something about the wrapper's texture is familiar. Not familiar in a good way, you might say. There's pain in there somewhere.
I let the note go. Enough cold to last several winters. Smells of chemicals. Someone's been sleeping here recently. Enough cold to last several winters, eh? Well, that's good. They won't go. I lived in the worst apartment building. It wasn't the worst. It's quite beautiful, but it was built in the 30s. But it had a steam radiator in the bottom, so we had endless heat. So that was nice.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Is that bed in the cool room yours?
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Not the nicest place. Don't you have a real home?
Does anyone in a city like this?
I guess it's not the nicest place, but it'll have to do.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
Cool. I have other questions.
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
Yep. Catch you later, Cindy. Here. A box. With money. The door's locked. You can't get in. Got it. Here on the balcony. Curtain shift just a little. Someone's watching from within. Breaker box is full of cigarette butts and electrical wires. Okay. Someone's growing rosemary, thyme, and a cactus. Nice.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the door.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening.
Okay.
We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good?
What do you mean?
The smoker on the balcony. This is why we're here, right? He might know something about the murder. So tomorrow 9 p.m.?
I don't think I can make it. I got plans. Yeah, no, that sounds
Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here. Apartment number 28. Good, let's go.
good. Okay.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. You'll get him.
This is the door to apartment 29. Complete silence. Whoever lives here also isn't home. This is the door to apartment 30. Voices from within singing along with some buoyant dance track. Good for them. Doo-doo-doo, bricks on the roof. Well, did I mean
Yes?
to do that? Okay. We've been around here and around here. Oh yeah. I think I will talk to these guys next time. Because it's getting late. We got a lot done. We explored the apartment building. We will do, I don't know, whatever it is. So much to do. It's only day 2. So much to do. But I love this game. So, you have to suffer and watch me play it. Just kidding. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're watching, like and subscribe. Bye-bye.